Welcome to the Awakened Human Podcast, the place to be for highly progressive yet extremely grounded intuitive guidance, energetic support, metaphysical tools, and higher consciousness for highly successful, ambitious, soul-centered visionaries and leaders like you who want to make a global impact and achieve your highest fulfillment by aligning with your soul's true divine agenda and your role in God's plan of lighted creation, and by utilizing your divine gifts, talents, and abilities from the higher realms. We do this by working with the non-physical realms of higher guidance, energy, intuition, and powerful metaphysical tools for healing and transformation. We understand that the real change and transformation that's being called for on planet Earth and in our own lives and our own businesses doesn't come from outside of us, but rather from within. And that the change that we desire to experience in our lives and in our world requires us to change from the inside. I'm your host, 𝗲𝗵𝗶𝘀. I'm a best-selling author, spiritual catalyst, intuitive, energy worker, ascension guide, multidimensional channel, animal communicator, visionary, lightworker, and luminary. I have dedicated my entire professional life to helping thousands and thousands of humans and animals all over the world in service and contribution to the light, which is the expansion, the upliftment, the evolution of humanity, to awaken, to uplift, and to align with our true divine source, which exists within each and every one of us. It is my passion, joy, and purpose to share this information, energy, and consciousness with you. Thank you so much for being here today and for sharing time with me. Let's get started. Well, hello, you magnificent being. It's me, 𝗲𝗵𝗶𝘀, here with you today. I'm excited for today's podcast and be sharing with you about your divine virtues. I'm really looking forward to this because I don't think people fully understand the virtues or how they work. I actually want to do an entire class on this, among all the many things. Before we start and help you to understand more about the virtues and how you can really embody them and what they are, I want to just take a few moments here and invite you to something I'm really excited about. And that is, wow, can you believe I'm already close to my 50th episode? That's exciting. Yay. All right. I want to take some moment just to invite you to something I am super excited about, which is a gifted free masterclass. It's a 5-day masterclass for those of you who really are visionary light leaders, your change agents, your solopreneurs and entrepreneurs who want to make massive impact in ways that are heart-centered. Chances are you're very ambitious and you know you have something fabulous and fantastic to offer to the world. And you may already be out there doing it and you just want to take it to next level by utilizing more of your intuitive gifts, your empathic sensitivities, your extrasensory superhuman abilities, and really live in accordance with your highest fulfillment and your soul's true divine agenda for you, and be best version of you, make the impact, the global impact you came here to make in the most powerful, profound ways for you and for those you serve. So that's what the upcoming masterclass is all about. It's really about how to access more of your infinite potential to become best version of you so you can make the impact you came here to make and really live in accordance, not only your highest fulfillment, your truest soul divine desires, but you can really heal and resolve whatever's standing in your way, those blocks and glass ceilings and, pain points, self-sabotaging patterns, all those things that we just don't need anymore here. You just don't need them. They're in the way, right? So I hope you'll join me for the masterclass. It's called Be Exceptional, Be Extraordinary You, Magnificent You. And you can learn more at my website at 𝗲𝗵𝗶𝘀.com. We'll put the link in the show notes as well for you to register. It's a gifted free masterclass, and it is going to be off the charts to really help support and assist and serve you as a visionary light leader, change agent, entrepreneur, solopreneur who really is here to make powerful and profound change in the world and to really empower yourself to empower you, to support you on your journey that you're here for a reason, right? So I hope you'll join us. As I said, it's a gifted masterclass, and we'll put the link in the show notes. And if you're not sure about it, you can certainly just head over to the website. It will be linked there, 𝗲𝗵𝗶𝘀.com. And so excited to be here with you today. We're going to talk about the virtues. And I want to talk about virtues. I mean, we know the definition virtuous. You could look that up on the internet to be virtuous, right? It's not, when I'm using that word, I'm not referring to it in the traditional sense of the word. So I want to elaborate what I mean by developing your virtues. Okay, so where do I want to go with this? I want to say to you that, sorry, I was just taking a pause to bring it in because I know it was channeled and it's not in my brain, which most of my podcasts are like that. So yes, we're going to talk about the virtues. Just access to higher consciousness of my own self for that. And what I want to share that's different about the virtues is, or unique, is that when we're talking about divine virtues, what we're really talking about is vibrational bandwidths of qualities, ways of being and behaving that are in accordance with, well, first with your most benevolent best and with your highest self, but also with the light, with that which is called the light or the expansion of consciousness. Your divine virtues are the qualities of being and behaving that are really true to the most benevolent best version of you. And when humans are growing and learning and expanding, we do recognize some of the higher virtues as things like compassion and kindness and care and empathy and forgiveness. And those are definitely divine virtues. And of course, love and peace, those are divine virtues. But what I'm referring to even more than that is the ability to embody the essence of the energy of virtuous energy that equates you with more light, that equates you, that allows you to embody more light. And light is not just actual light like sunlight or color, although that's included, but light is enlightenment, or the lightness of being, or even what the ancients might call moksha, right? It's the qualities of being that are associated with, I mean, we could say saintly behavior, or the behaviors of the 𝗲𝗍𝗃s, or the ascended masters, or the angelics, the higher realms. And these aren't things that are unheard of to us. We know what they are. We aren't typically always embodying them. So when you embody them, they become more of the truth of who you are because they are true to you. So let's talk about some of these virtues. And we mentioned the ones that are kind of most known to humans when humans are developing more virtuous behavior: forgiveness, kindness, compassion, care, empathy. And those are some of, love, loving kindness. Those are some of the kind of earlier ones, right, that we start to develop because they're kind of known. Authenticity is another one. Sincerity, integrity, right. But when we start getting into divine virtues, it's what we're really talking about is the energy of the divine. So for example, divine healing. So we don't necessarily think of that as a virtue, divine healing. As a gifted healer, I have been trained to embody divine healing. So the energy of divine healing is always flowing through me so that whenever anyone is near me, they are being positively affected by that energy. And that is God's energy, God, source, creator, the infinite, the all that is, the divine source. Pick your word that you like, spirit, whatever is your right belief system or your right alignment. But the energy of divine healing is real. And it is a virtue to be able to embody that energy, and that it's anchored within my energy field and radiating out of me, because this way I'm positively affecting others around me, even if they don't know, just because the divine is willing it through me, because I have made space, energetic space, for the divine to flow that through me, to use me in the physical form. So that is a divine virtue. So in a sense, when I'm talking about virtues, yes, it's ways of behaving, but you can behave compassionate. You can behave kindly. You can behave with empathy. You can behave with sincerity, right? But as you get into the frequencies that are really divinely aligned, they're energies that you have made space for that are of the light. And divine healing is a great example of that. And you don't have to be a trained healer for the energy of divine healing to flow through you and to emanate through you, for you to embody that energy. But you do need to be of enough purity that your physicality and your energy field can allow that you're vibrationally harmonious with it, because that energy cannot carry density. So in order to attune to it, in a sense, one must be able to be free of density or heaviness or dross, right? So this is why we call it a divine virtue. What are some other divine virtues? And of course, some of them are still, behaviors, right? So divine truth. That's a good one. Not everybody likes truth. Not everybody wants truth. Some people may think they want truth and they unconsciously don't. So for example, if you watch something on TV that is designed to sway or manipulate you, let's just use an example of any form of chronic negativity network. That's what I call news programs. The initials stand for it, but any of those kinds of news mass media programs that generally tend to be chronically negative and have very particular agendas to sway and influence, whether we know them or not. People who are watching those things are, whether they realize it or not, unconsciously are not really interested in truth. And I know that's a bold statement, and I don't mean to insult anyone, because I know there's lots of you out there who do watch them, and that's okay. It's just when you really start wanting divine truth, you're not interested in lies or manipulation or anything having to do with that. So the energetic of divine truth is a frequency of vibration that when you become attuned to it, your frequency will be able to emanate that, which then really sustains more truth in this reality, which divine truth is really ultimately is always benevolent, right? Okay, let's do some more. Divine certainty. So divine certainty, it's really not a behavior, it's a way of being. It's an energy. Why? Divine certainty comes with direct experience. I've talked about it on some of the other podcast episodes. It comes through direct experience with source and interaction in the higher realms of literally being able to converse with higher self, with angelics, with ascended masters, etc., and learning through direct experience of what is true, real, right, and accurate. And through that direct experience, one develops gnosis, Knowsis, and through that gnosis, one starts having divine certainty. Now, you might say, well, how does that help me? Well, let's say you're an entrepreneur or business person, and you don't know if you're going to be able to afford to go into business, or you don't know what's the next right best action for your business. Well, with divine certainty, you start knowing. Let's say you're trying to manifest something into your life or have a kind of life that you want, and you don't know if you can have it. With divine certainty, see, fear gets eradicated from your field. And as fear, doubt, disbelief, uncertainty, etc., get eradicated through a healing process, part of what replaces it is the energy of divine certainty. A great example of divine certainty is a lot of people walk around with the belief system that they don't know when they're going to die, and they don't pay attention to it. It's okay, no problem, nothing wrong with that. Or they don't know they could get sick tomorrow. They don't know, they don't understand. When you have divine certainty, that's not the case. And someone could tell me that's crazy. How could you be certain? And that's only because they don't have divine certainty yet. When 2020 happened and that mass global PLAN, the demic, whatever you want to call it, happened, When that happened, almost from the very first week, I got the divine download. I saw the whole thing. I didn't think it would last as long as it did because fear is a creational force of its own, and people went right to fear. It was a great manipulation of consciousness. Regardless, when that happened, within the first week, my team told me, this is not going to affect you on a personal level in the sense that you're not going to get this big V. And you don't have to worry about that, Lori, because you're here to show people how to live and prosper and do well, regardless of what's going on in the physical world. That's part of your agenda. It was such beautiful guidance. So with that, I had so much certainty. I had zero doubt, zero questioning. I really never wondered. In fact, I've talked about this before, where I sat next to somebody who was literally coughing for an hour and a half. I didn't really know he had COVID. It didn't even occur to me, really. I wasn't in that mindset, but it turned out he did have it, and it never even affected me. Never. And that, of course, is, I'll say, from the DNA activations that I do. And there's plenty of gifted activations on my YouTube channel, by the way, that have activations of the energetics of the codes of immunity and imperviousness. That's really what did it for me. And I've done those activations for so many other people that the ones who have had those from me have been also around people and have not been affected by it. So regardless, my point is, these are just all the energy of virtues, virtuous energy that is free from, undiluted from the density or the heaviness associated with the human physical earthly reality that we've known as, or that we've experienced, that I often refer to as the old paradigm, or people refer to it as third dimension. So the virtuous qualities are more qualities that are of the light, divine certainty being the one that I just mentioned, that allow you to live in accordance with more of not only your soul's true divine agenda, but also allow you to live and be in this new paradigm, this new way of being, because the energies are so different that you're embodying, that you're holding more light, the essence of the divine. Let's talk about a few more. And some of them you'll easily identify with, like loving kindness. I think I mentioned that before. That is a divine virtue, loving kindness, right? Another divine virtue, divine magnanimity. I've talked about this before. So magnanimity is a divine virtue, because when you start embodying this divine virtue and the energy of magnanimity, you can know that even if you don't like someone or you don't necessarily approve of their behavior, it's actually possible for you to love them, regardless of your personal feelings towards them. You're just having the energy of love, being the energy of this magnanimity, which is like love and acceptance for all, even the seemingly unlovable. This is why it's so easy to say God is love, because in truth, that magnanimity is there. God loves all of its creation, all beings, everything that ever has been, ever will be. And this is why people in the old paradigm who still have like more judgment or animosity towards someone or something, they're not embodying yet anyway. It's not fully activated in them, the virtuous quality of magnanimity. Now imagine having magnanimity in the middle of political extremes, where one's this side and one's that side. And you're just like, I'm okay no matter what. I just want what's for the good of humanity. And you have that magnanimity really activated in your field, really energizing through you. And now you can't be polarized or swayed, or you can't get caught up in some kind of political debate or argument, left, right, up, down, this way, that way, extremism, polarity. It's like, you're like, I'm in magnanimity. I love it all. Now, that is not something that can be developed in the mind. That is not something the brain can say, I'm just going to be magnanimity. No, it is the essence of those energies that you begin to embody as your bandwidth, your energy holds more light frequency waves. And that can only be done through really an energy healing practices. So this is why I'm talking about these divine virtues. Now, there are many, many more. I'll talk about a few more, but these divine virtues help you when you begin to more and more, embody them. They help you live in the world in a way that is so much more enjoyable and benevolent for you, helpful to others. You are less easily swayed by others and more easily aligned with your own divine source, your own truth, your own divinity, the divinity that you are, the light that you are, the magnificence and the brilliance that is the energetic truth of who you are, who we all are. So, I mean, this is where you get to decide, right? In a sense, do you want to play the old games of being in those older energies, or do you want to start expanding and up leveling to embody more of the divine and the divine virtues that are available to you? I will tell you, one of the best things about the divine virtues, although we all get to decide for ourselves, is not only that you experience more and more unshakable inner peace. And yes, divine peace is a divine virtue. And as you work with that, you inside have unshakable inner peace. Things can be going on around you. And I can see how I really got to develop that this year. And so many things happened this year that were sort of attempting to sway me off. And I mean, it was like it all started, I would say, in March of last year. And over the course of the year, I've just started to see like, wow, unshakable inner peace within be cultivated through those challenging experiences and through the healing journey that happened this year for me personally. And that is a divine virtue. Unshakable inner peace, unshakable inner harmony. To embody inner harmony, the frequencies, the essence of inner harmony, all of your inner organs start working in harmony. You don't have organ breakdown. You don't have as much sickness or illness. Even aging starts to slow. You have more energy. Like if you start realizing why these virtues are so helpful to you in life and how much they can help you, it's so worth it, right? Another one I was going to say was divine love. So divine love is not the same thing. It's not the same thing as magnanimity. That's different. That's the energy of being able to love the unlovable. Divine love is divine love. That's not the same thing as human love either. Human love is so different from divine love. Divine love, you're just being love. You're being love. What happens to people around you is they start becoming more loving too. Same thing with divine kindness. All these energies, the people around you also are benefiting, and the animals too, right? So the people and the animals are benefiting because your frequency, your vibration is elevating them. The only time it won't benefit them is if they fight, resist it, or hold on to their smallness or stuckness, in which case, typically speaking, they'll fall out of your life, right? The two won't be vibrational compatible, and they don't stick around for long, right? And usually that's not somebody you don't really love. You don't have real love with them. You just have maybe magnanimity. Maybe there's divine love, but it's just not, you're not energetically, vibrationally attuned, right? So in any case, my point is that when you start embodying these frequencies and making space for them, these divine virtues are more of the truth of who you are, and they become the expression of you, and they become more and more of what you experience on a daily basis. Another great example is divine inspiration. It's one of my favorite frequencies, divine inspiration. And the reason it's one of my favorite frequencies is that I know that when I'm divinely inspired, I don't have to work as hard. In other words, I don't have to sit and figure out Facebook posts. They just flow right through me. I don't have to figure out how to write a newsletter. It just flows right through me. I don't have to sit and script out podcasts. It just flows right through me. When I go on any form of interviews, there's no nervousness there. There's none of that for me. I go on stage, none of that. Why? Because there's just the divine inspiration is allowing that energy. Have made space for the divine to inspire through me and to be the expression through me. So when you are working in your business or as a solopreneur, entrepreneur, or however you're serving in the world as a big impact maker, as a legacy leader, the divine utilizes you when you have these frequencies that you're attuned to, right? Another one is that I love is divine optimism. I love it. Why? Because it doesn't matter who's elected to an office or what crazy things are happening. When I've got that, I'm like, I'm excited about the future. I'm optimistic. I see good things in the future. I see possibilities. I see potentials. And I know that's the energy that my future is going to have in terms of linear time, because that energy of divine optimism, by definition, is I'm excited and optimistic about something that's not necessarily here in the moment, or if it is, it's the whole of it's not fully completed in some way, right? So these virtues, they're not things that you just think in your brain. They are the energy that you begin to embody, that happen when you're doing activations, transmissions, healings, etc. And then you bring them forward into the world. They are game changers. Game changers, not only for you personally, for your own health and well-being, for your emotional and mental happiness and well-being, for your physical well-being, yes, but also for your career, for your work, and for your service in the world. Why? Because the people and the animals around you will be affected. Let's talk about just a few more because they're so good. There's so many of them. I could go on. Divine grace. Divine grace. So imagine having challenging situations or circumstances, and you cultivate divine grace. Over the past year, both of my parents had different times they were in the hospital, and I was caring for them. One of those times I was in the middle of a relocation, moving from one side of the state to the other. Also, during the past year, I had some challenges with four people at once kind of ambushed me about something that they didn't like that I was doing, that I wasn't doing anything wrong, and they just didn't like what I was doing. And there was challenging situations there. There were a multitude of challenging situations, and believe it or not, overall, I handled it all with the most incredible amount of divine grace, in spite of the fact that those circumstances, I had a cousin who committed suicide this year. I haven't talked about this much. Why? Because people don't want to be poo-pooed on with challenges in my life, but I navigated with them with incredible grace. Incredible grace. And I'm still being of service to others in the best ways possible. I'm not bragging about myself. I'm saying that's the energy of divine grace. It's like the crap gets thrown at you. The SHIT hits the fan, and yet you are being graceful, and other people have no idea what's going on in your life. No idea. So these kinds of things are possible. Now, you may think divine praise, well, what is that? But divine praise, when you start embodying the energy of divine praise, then you're able to not only give out more praise to the world, but you're also no longer in resistance to anything. You don't get caught up in the contracted experience of right and wrong, good and bad, yes, no, high, low, argument, debate, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm right, all that stuff. You just praise it all. It's all part of the experience. So when you're no longer contracted in the experience, there's no more judgment or very little judgment in your space. You are able to elevate up out of that form of density, duality, contrast, and limitation. You're expanding, you're holding more light, and then you be that for others. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, you have students, you have clients, you have children. If you're a parent with children, embodying the energy of divine praise. This isn't the same thing as egoic praise. Oh, good job, I'm proud of you. No, this is a whole different kind of ballgame energy. It's the energy of true, divine, authentic praise of all that is. All is well, all is good. I had a client who she was having some financial challenges, and she was definitely concerned about some of the stuff going on, and she wanted to get some help around that issue with her finances. And she was in this kind of spiral of panic and worry and just anger at the banks, anger at whatever. And we just brought in that energy for her of divine praise and helping her to realize it's not worth being in all that contrast. Let's just bring in this praise. It is what it is. All is well. And it completely shifted it for her. She just moved out of so much of the push, pull, anger, resentment, like wrongness of it, and into it's all okay. Wow, I could go on with so many other virtues. I really could do a whole class on this. I'll just give you one other example. I had one of my students in Sacred Visionary Mentorship who was experiencing a huge amount of stress and anxiety and tech challenges and just like little mental breakdowns, and definitely not such a brilliant, beautiful being, vibrant being, but just under the stress of all, life is stressful. She was just going through some breakdowns, and we just really brought in that energy, that divine praise. Everything is going to be just fine. Everything's all right. And she said to me afterwards in the aftermath, she's like, as soon as you said that, I felt that energy that everything would be all right. And she just also came into her own knowing, like, it'll all work out. Everything will be fine. And sure enough, within less than 24 hours, something that she had been struggling on for months resolved itself because her energy shifted, because she was able to step into a new frequency based on the fact that I could bring forward that divine praise and divine acceptance of all that is, which is part of that. So many ways we can improve the quality of life through the energy that we embody, and by allowing more of those divine virtues to come through us. Here's the last one. I know I keep saying that, but it's such a good one. Divine equanimity. Such a good one. Why is it so good? Divine equanimity. We can see all across our planet right now the inequality, whether it's gender, whether it's race, whether it's political inequality, financial inequality. It's happening all over the globe. And there's nowhere and no one that is not in some way, shape, or form affected by it. And the inequality that we have in our old paradigm seen as some form of injustice or unfairness or wrongness can be rebalanced and restabilized through the energetic of equanimity. And equanimity is the higher truth. It's the divine truth. As we come into that equanimity, let me tell you how that affects you on a personal level. You don't get stolen from. You start wanting to fairly pay for what you should pay for, should being, an operative word. You start knowing you would rather live in that equanimity, honestly giving, receiving, exchanging with fair value and reciprocity. It feels so much better. And when you do that, people are more willing to pay you, and you're more willing to pay others. You have more money to give. Money is just one form of exchange. You have whatever you need to exchange in any way that's right, whether it's compliments, love, kindness, teaching, sharing, money, any form of material abundance, because you're living in the energy of equanimity. And when you're living in the energy of divine equanimity, you're not anywhere anymore off balance. Less and less. There's other things that can throw you off balance, but overall, your life starts operating that way. Your business, the people you interact with, are more aligned with that too, because you're allowing for that to be more of the experience. It's so much more enjoyable. If you've ever worked in business, and this has certainly happened to me, where I paid people who didn't deliver on their product, or they didn't show up. I hired people who didn't even, I remember a couple of cases of somebody didn't even make an appointment. They just took the money and ran, right? I once hired a virtual assistant who I paid $1,000 up front. And 2 weeks later, there was another $1,000 out of good faith. I paid him. He had made excuse after excuse. I mean, he was a scammer, right? But back then, I was learning this. I was learning about this. Now that stuff doesn't happen anymore. Just doesn't become part of your experience. And you realize you've up-leveled. It's just not something you have to go through anymore. So this is why an energy of, for example, divine equanimity can really, really serve you so well. Now, these kinds of virtues are not something you can just get with your mind. They are energetic transformations that happen from a vibratory state through the experience of raising the vibration that you operate at, elevating and expanding through a transformational experience that is spiritual healing. DNA activations help with it. For sure, that's a major part of it because those codes for those divine virtues are in the DNA. There's also templates. We could call them templates. I don't have time to go into all of that right now, but that's also in the DNA. So it's not a process of changing behaviors, although that's part of it. It's more a process of attunement to new frequencies that ultimately you up level, you expand into, you become one with, and they start flowing through you. You are them, you're embodying them. This is part of what is called enlightenment, and they change your whole life and the lives of those you interact with for the better. Isn't that amazing? And that is what I mean by divine virtues. So if you would like to know more about those, please join us for an upcoming DNA activation webinar, or certainly you can inquire more about Sacred Visionary Mentorship. Definitely, we are cultivating those virtues in the mentorship program and developing more of our capacity to align with the light and really live our highest fulfillment and be best versions of ourselves and make global impact that we're all here to make. So, and of course, please make sure you register and join for the upcoming Be Extraordinary 5-day Masterclass. So excited about that, where you can reclaim all of your most magnificent gifts and really cultivate and develop your intuition and your superhuman abilities so that you really can live in accordance with your soul's true divine agenda, your highest fulfillment, best expression of you, and make that impact you came here to make. So, all right, beautiful visionary, magnificent change agent, leader, whoever and wherever you are, I'm going to sign off for now. I am sending you so much love. I'm wishing you your most benevolent best. Thank you so much for being here. Please share the episode. Help other people too to learn this stuff. It is what the world needs, and so are you. And you know that's true. So, okay, until next time, I'm signing off for now, and I'm sending you so much love and wishing you your most benevolent best. Farewell for now. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for listening today. If you loved the show and if you benefited in any way, if it helped you to up level or expand your consciousness, if you gained any new insights or ideas, if it made you think or become more aware, or if there were some strategies or intuition that you may have benefited from in any way, would you please do me 2 easy and simple favors? First, if you would be willing to leave a review, it would mean the world to me. I'd be so grateful. And second, if you're willing to share this show with anyone else who would benefit, you can either post it on your social media or just email it to someone and share it with another person or any other people. It would be so awesome. This kind of thing is so helpful in expanding consciousness on the planet and helping others to benefit from this kind of teaching, which just simply isn't generally readily available in the mainstream. So sharing it really helps others benefit and helps our planet evolve and awaken. Plus, expressing gratitude and generosity in this way will also expand your capacity to give and receive even more. Either way, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for participating and for sharing, and overall, just for being the magnificent, the spectacular, the brilliant, the fabulous, the wonderful you that you truly are, and for allowing yourself to be the very best version of you today and every day. All my love and gratitude to you.